All right, welcome to F8, which is the last dot point for farming for the 21st century option topic. So for this dot point, we need to explain the need for research in the development of agricultural technology. So the key thing here is the need. We need to work out why agriculture needs to use or needs to continue research. So for this dot point, we need to understand why it needs to be undertaken, the purpose and the effect of the research. And I've started off by including a little paragraph from a journal in 1915 about why they said research was important then, and basically to improve people's health and lifestyle and the economies of different countries, we need to do research to become more efficient and better at what we do, and food production is one area of that. So what I've done is we've started by looking at why we do research in general, and then we look at who does it and some examples of who is doing it. So the first video is a CSIRO video, and it's very good. It's very short as well, 4 minutes or so. So you should watch it. But basically, the video talks about why we need to do research. So development of autonomous farm machinery, wireless farms for monitoring animal health and soil moisture, meals personalized to people's needs, processing techniques to preserve taste and texture. We need to keep Australian agriculture diverse, high value, high tech, a leading exporter of grains, meats and fine foods. We need to continue to be adaptable to drought, floods, pests and disease, of course, as well. So agricultural yields have plateaued over the recent years, which means they're not getting any higher. And so that's making it increasingly difficult to remain competitive with other countries who are getting closer to us in terms of their yields. So we need to do research to improve that problem. We also need to increase production while lowering costs. We need to respond to issues of global hunger, increased food need, and climate change. And consumers around the world are becoming wealthier. So beef consumption in Asia has increased by about 120%. And we need to meet that challenge. And then lastly, we also need to have technology to allow farmers to make better decisions and manage the risk better of farming. Okay, so I've done 3 case studies here. The first one's CSIRO. So the example is digital agriculture, and the challenge is computer and sensor technologies being used on Australian farms for 20 years or so, but the adoption is uneven and full potential is unrealised. And so the curse is that there's too much information being sourced and not knowing what to do with it. So the response or the research is in adapting and applying sensor systems that can cheaply and accurately monitor animals, plants and soils, allowing farmers to precisely manage inputs to maximise production. Also working on delivering data and to decision makers in real time and on mobile devices. And so the results of this research is still in progress, so it's hard to give any results on that. In terms of another example, Sydney University is researching into quality of food. So 9 out of 10 Australians don't eat enough vegetables and fruit, and so possibly due to the lack of understanding about the specific benefits. So the research is looking into trying to determine if labeling can be a technology. If we label if we label the specific benefits of various fruit and vegetables and use the carrot rather than the stick approach, i.e. positive rather than negative reinforcement. And so initial results show respondents have a poor understanding of the health benefits of fruit and veggies. And so further work really needs to be done on the effect of more explicit labeling, and this could be in the form of apps or various other ways that they might get information about fruit and vegetables to consumers. Case study 3 is the MLA, or Meat and Livestock Australia, which you already know about, and they get money from people when they sell, so producer levies and also the federal government to do research. And the problem is that they need to try and accurately evaluate genetic traits in beef cattle to allow for better breeding combinations and quicker trait improvements. And so the response is that Australian Genetics and Breeding Unit, which is part of MLA, have worked on improving breed plan, which you already know about. And so the latest estimate shows beef industry rate of improvement is likely to double in the next few years. And basically they're all the same, so I've only filled in one here, which was a 4-mark question. So you can see this one is why is research required when developing new technologies? You can see sample answers here too. Outline the need for research when developing new technologies. That's only 2 marks, that's sample answer. Then we have a 3-mark question here on why is there a need for ongoing research into agricultural technologies and related to farming in the 21st century. And so you can see there's a sample answer here as well. And then lastly, I've got the question that I did, which is a 4-mark question, which is why I did it. 2011, why is research needed when developing agricultural technologies? 2 examples I chose was better use of data. So CSIRO is is doing research into making more accurate and cheaper sensors for animal and plant. They're also working on ways for decision makers to be able to access and make sense of data via mobile in real time. This will allow for improved efficiencies, for example, in irrigation and increased water sustainability. Lastly, labelling technology. Sydney University is studying if explicit labelling of health benefits on fruit and veggies will help improve consumption, as 90% of Australians don't eat enough fruit and veg. Information could be provided via an app and would improve health outcomes, but also increase market size for the farmer.